channel. Today I'm reviewing Crystal Dynamics' second entry in this Tomb Raider reboot series, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is exclusive to the Xbox One for now. But anyway, grab that bow and arrow, make sure you get that base cannon built, and make sure you get that upgrade to that weapon, and let's get started. That's right folks, a brand new entry to the new Tomb Raider series has come out with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Currently on Xbox One and coming to PS4 and PC later in 2016, the latest installment of Tomb Raider has you in the hands of Lara Croft, picking up where her father left off trying to find a mysterious item called the Divine Source, which wields powers and immortality to the person who finds it. But while you're on the journey of said item, an evil organization named Trinity is also on the hunt for the item. The journey of the Divine Source puts you on a crazy quest and an even crazier battle. What's also new on Rise of the Tomb Raider is the non-traditional multiplayer. Instead of traditional versus style multiplayer like the first one, Rise of the Tomb Raider has put in modes such as score attacks where you attempt to beat your other friend's score in a lot of time, remnant resistance where it's a horde style mode set in the Tomb Raider world, chapter replay where you can play any chapter again and get your skills buffed up to find collectibles, or chapter replay elite where you can get your skills unlocked again, but this time using a brand new system Tomb Raider has put in for this second entry. Another new feature Rise of the Tomb Raider has brought is the Expedition card packs, which you can use in various modes of Expedition mode. These cards are used for buffs or nerfs depending on the situation and what mode you're playing. The nerfs are looked at as positives. The more you have taken away from you, the better your score will be on Score Attack or Chapter Replay Elite. It'll get an increased bonus. The better the buff on the card, the more your score will decrease, giving you infinite fire arrows, or starting off with a rifle and a good amount of bullets will also decrease the score. It's a brand new system. Now see, when I played the very first Tomb Raider, I told myself I liked it a lot, but there were some things that they could really improve on. And in Rise of the Tomb Raider, they improved on every single thing I had to complain about. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the pros. My first pro for Rise of the Tomb Raider is that the graphics are amazing, simply breathtaking. Crystal Dynamics has done an outstanding job on the visuals for Rise of the Tomb Raider. Every character looks realistic as possible. The detailings on the facial features for Lara, Anna, Jonah, Constantine, on everyone looks so amazing. Even the environments and the little detailing is also an astounding thing too. From the detailing to the footprint tracking in the snow and even the fleshed out forest, it looks so good. It's a pro for me. My next pro is that the story for Rise of the Tomb Raider is great. It's written well like an actual movie. It'll keep you on your toes with certain things happening and that you'll have to expect certain characters to not be on anything evil and keeping your guard over whom you meet throughout the game. They fleshed out the story quite a bit and even showed major growth of Lara quite a bit as well. It's one of those stories that'll start you off slowly, but once the ball gets rolling, it gets even better as it goes on. It's definitely a pro for me. Another pro that I have for Rise of the Tomb Raider is the open world aspect that this gives you. It's more open and gives you more places to explore and find items instead of being completely set on that one straight path. You have more to explore, more to find, and more to go back to as well. You can backtrack from any campfire location or even fast travel in any location to that place you want to go and just explore. I like that we had this option and capability in Rise of the Tomb Raider. It definitely sets it from the first one, and this is definitely a pro for me. My next pro with Rise of the Tomb Raider is that the gameplay is extremely solid. No bad inputs or button reads or anything of that nature when it comes to Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's completely crafted well and done right. The gunplay is great, but don't expect to be shooting and dodging easily with no skills being bought. The exploration side of things is fantastic and done extremely well. They took what they did from the first Tomb Raider and just perfected the craft of the controls completely into the second one and made a masterpiece from it. It's definitely a pro for me. My next pro is that Rise of the Tomb Raider has some crazy puzzles inside of the challenge tombs. That these are literally challenging upon challenging. It'll take you the second to get because they really try to stump you on your first play and keep you on your toes as you solve each challenge tomb as the game progresses. It gets harder and harder per tomb and definitely shows the side we have to think upon Rise of the Tomb Raider. Each puzzle gets switched up in some crazy aspect, from balancing weight, shifting positions, testing speed, water density, wind speed, and everything. It's definitely a pro for me. My last pro is that the new multiplayer aspect in Rise of the Tomb Raider is fun. Trying to beat your friend's score, set a new score on the leaderboard, setting that new record for how long you lasted in the horde-based mode Remnant Resistance, or even beating your friend's score in that chapter on chapter replay. It's a cool thing to have instead of versus multiplayer not many would touch that much. While I like to see more modes come, it's definitely a cool thing and definitely a breath of fresh air for this multiplayer aspect they put in for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it's definitely a pro for me. Now see, while I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, I noticed that every issue I had in the very first game, they patched and touched up and completely smoothed over and made it even better in Rise of the Tomb Raider. But there were still two major things that left a very bad taste in my mouth upon playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the cons. My first con for Rise of the Tomb Raider is that aside from the challenge tombs, is that all the rest of the puzzles is way too easy, even without survival instincts having to be used. Those puzzles that are handed to you in the story get way too easy for you to solve at a point in time. The challenge tombs provide the greater challenge puzzle-wise compared to the regular story mode puzzles. It would have been great to have a puzzle that might have stumped you upon playing the story, but it wasn't one, and that's very disappointing in a Tomb Raider game. It is definitely a con for me.
Okay.
My next and last con, and yes, this is a major spoiler here, is that the final boss fight is very underwhelming from all the build-up it was in the story. It was so much build and so much hype behind it and so much dramatic push for this fight to go down that once it happens, it's a major underwhelming fight that happens. It was great behind the scenes and building it up from the story and making it something special, but once it actually happens, it comes as nothing more behind it and should have been way more than what it was. It's definitely disappointing and a con for me. But all in all, Rise of the Tomb Raider is phenomenal in its own forthright. From amazing looking graphics to a great story, great gameplay, crazy puzzle challenges and the challenge tombs, great remakes on the multiplayer and having a nice open world aspect, it's definitely set great. But the underwhelming puzzles in the story mode, even more underwhelming final boss fight can be definitely disappointing, but not hurting the game at all. I'll be giving Rise of the Tomb Raider a 4.5 out of 5.
Wait.
Alright guys, that concludes my review on Rise of the Tomb Raider. Stay tuned because on my channel I have many more reviews for you guys coming from Just Cause 3, Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and many more. Stay tuned for those as well. Also I have a very special review coming up on Xbox One's backwards compatibility. I'll be showing off a lot of things comparing and contrasting, so stay tuned for that as well. Also, I'll put my links in the description box below if you want to follow me on my Twitch and Twitter. Just hit that up if you want to follow me. Also, I'll put my link in the annotation box right here on my Uncharted 4 beta multiplayer video. Go check that out. I think you guys will like that. Also, on this annotation box right here, I'll put my Rainbow Six Siege review on there as well. Check out that review. I think you guys will like that as well. So until next time and until next video, guys, we'll tune in, turn up, and throw down. I'm out.